Americana is a neo-Western crime kind of thriller directed by Tony Toast? And starring people such as Sydney Sweeney, Paul Walter Hauser, and Halsey, actually. The biggest story about it right now is that it's being considered a flop, and that's not exactly fair. It's an indie movie that premiered at a film festival 2 years ago, experiencing a very limited release with very limited marketing. Apparently, it's expected to make a decent return on investment for Lionsgate, the distributor. Some people want to correlate the low box office here with Sydney Sweeney's recent controversies, but no. Nevertheless, few people have heard about it, and if any of those people wanted to see it, they'd be hard-pressed to find tickets anyways, which is a shame. Americana is a fun, sad, thoughtful little gem. Americana is about a bunch of offbeat, intrepid, unlikely protagonists scheming to recover an old Native American artifact across the rural backroads of South Dakota and Wyoming, each for their own agendas, and each willing to kill or die for it. Now, with this premise, I think Americana does 3 really cool and interesting things. The characters. Americana never makes a big deal out of when or where it's happening. It's just happening in the West. As such, Americana's main players are all men and women sort of out of time, as if they were each plucked from a different genre of American cinema or period of American history. These people feel like they're out of a nostalgic 60s through 80s romantic dramedy. She feels like she's from the 90s. He's a cowboy. He's a 60s radical. These are Puritans. He's the reincarnation of Sitting Bull.
I am the reincarnation of Sitting Bull.
Watching all these aesthetics and sensibilities playing out with or against each other is really fun, and then the movie does this thing where it'll jarringly force you back into the present by showing you an iPhone or a Honda. It's a little like that big time-melding dance scene in Sinners if you toned it way down and made it a subtle thing throughout the whole movie. It's fun to watch on its own, but I think that the film uses its characters to explore some interesting themes, which leads me to my next point. The cost of ideology. The film is something of an homage, a deconstruction, and a reaffirmation all at once of the Western genre, and thereby, of the complicated American spirit that the Western embodies. Most overtly, it's something of a rebuttal to the cowboys versus Indians genre, and in this, the Indians kind of get their revenge. Also, the only thing that really annoyed me in this movie is its presentation of the boring, tired, kind of evil Puritans. The puritanical men are all a bunch of creepy misogynists, and their religion is exclusively a veneer for their hypocrisy. Along this angle, I think some people, if anyone could find a theater showing it, might describe it as woke. But I don't think so. Americana seems to be throwing out a bunch of American types, tropes, hopes, and histories, and it just lets you simmer in them for a bit. For example, America values money. It's either the object of destructive greed or sought as a means to independence. America has a complicated history pockmarked by injustices, which is embraced by some but bitterly resented by others, sometimes to delusional extents in either direction. Now, the movie commits to its Tarantino-ish premise. Everyone wants something really badly, everyone is kind of flawed, and not everyone can win. In fact, it's hard to say if anybody quite wins in the end. But some people lose less, and some people lose more. Those who are invested in ideology or in greed in any way are the ones who suffer the most. Being consumed by the past or by crude desire is fatal and empty. And this leads me to the third thing. American dreams. Americana really gets at the heart of the American ethos, which is a thing I honestly, and I doubt many of us, have thought about in a while. We're drowning in conspiracies and doubt and mistrust about culture, about government, about history, about the future. Reflecting on Americana felt a little like coming up for air, because it reminded me of what the great American movies and great American art are all about: dreaming and aspiring. The American spirit is, in a way, defined by hopes that you, whomever you are and wherever you're from, can follow a calling if you have the grit and the crazy to make it happen. Honestly, this is why old American musicals are so vibrant and bombastic, and why they don't make much sense to us anymore. They're often about hoping and achieving and loving, unabashedly. But that dream is always split by a paradox: the simultaneous desires of the West and the East. The West in American thought has been a symbol of freedom, of opportunity, gold rushes, and wide open spaces. The East is the symbol of home, the established, the settled, the historical, the content. Similarly, there's a desire to do your own thing, go your own way, but also to share your life with someone, with a family, which leads to painful sacrifices one way or another. And this is a bit of a tangent. This movie does a cool little thing, and I don't know if it means anything or even if it was intentional, where home and adventure are flipped. The characters whose journeys are taking them home are going westward. Those seeking liberty are going east. Now, American art has never claimed that all dreams are possible. Some of the greatest movies of the American tradition are about what pursuit of your aspirations might cost you in the journey. Americana doesn't shy away from the risks and the danger, but for the first time in a while, it's a movie that says these kinds of hopes, not the injustice or the evil, are what define classic America in beautiful and tragic ways.
People should be happy. I think I can make you happy.